out and aligned them with the palette that they... I am so ready to film this video today. I've been really looking forward to it. I put a poll on my Instagram to see if you guys wanted to see a reading vlog from my channel, and almost all of you guys said yes. So that's what today's video is going to be. I have been in a reading slump for like a year and a half. I'm not even kidding. I feel embarrassed to say that because that's just such a long time, but I have been into reading again lately, and I've been really trying to prioritize it because it is good for me to not spend every waking hour looking at a screen. But this morning I did still need to finish up a little bit of editing and get my thumbnail ready and everything. So I've been hanging out, getting that done, but I thought that the vibe still kind of fit a reading vlog, and so I thought that I would still include that in today's video. But I just got my video live, which was the creating my custom Natasha Denona palette. So this is what that palette looks like. If you guys are into makeup and you want to check out that video, I do have a makeup channel, okay? Like my channel name is Kirsten's Makeup Vanity for a reason. I have just been wanting to prioritize spending time on things that I enjoy to do that aren't surrounding work. And while YouTube is my hobby and creating makeup videos is my hobby, I do have a work type mindset with it because I usually am filming videos and then needing to edit them and post them and such. But a video like this is just a little bit more chill. I really like the vlog scene. I think I might try to do them a little bit more, but I'm really looking forward to today's video just to actually read because it still doesn't involve me looking into bright lights or looking on a screen. I want to just film whatever I feel like filming and also whatever you guys are wanting to see, because I don't have just one interest in makeup. Like I have other interests in my life and other hobbies and such. So this is the book I'm going to be reading. Let me go grab the first one in the series because this is actually the second one, which is why I'm so excited to film this video because I freaking loved the first one. So as I'm filming this, I just finished the first book in the series 2 days ago, and I finished it in a week, which is really good for me because I read it during like a work week. And I usually don't find that much time in the work week to read. And so the fact that I finished this in a week is really good for me. I like to take my time when I'm reading too. Like I don't like to just try and read a book as fast as I can. I want to really enjoy it if I'm enjoying the book. So I like to really take my time, and I tend to be a slow reader because of that. But I loved this book so much. I flew through it. This has about 400 pages in it, but the text is really big. And the writing style of this is just so easy to read. It's so vivid and it has a lot of imagery, but you don't have to really think about the words that you're reading, if that makes sense. You can just really fly through it and you're just creating this image in your head without having to really put in a ton of effort, which is exactly what I needed during this reading slump. So to put it into perspective, I started the book Beach Read by Emily Henry back in May before our Alaskan trip. And I was so into that. I flew through the first 150 pages on the flight on the way there, and then it took me until August to finish it. So it's just like I couldn't pick it back up, and I liked that book. There was nothing wrong with that book, but I just couldn't like get myself to start reading again. But this one I flew through in a week, and I'm so proud of that. So yeah, I just really want to go ahead and dive into the second book. She sent me these books for my birthday, and I had them waiting for when I finished the Beach Read book. And so as soon as I finished that, I gave myself a few days. Then I picked up this book, Once Upon a Broken Heart, and I read the first chapter and I was hooked ever since. This book is by Stephanie Garber. So I'm going to split this video up, I think, with non-spoiler parts and then spoiler parts. So I will make sure to be very clear if I'm about to say a spoiler, because I really think that if you're interested in this book, you should definitely read it. It's so good. I was just thrown into it immediately and I really enjoyed this. Now, I will say after reading this book, I found out that it was part of the Caraval world. So I never read that series. That's also a 3-part series. And now I really want to read that. A lot of people are saying you should have read that series first before this one, but that's okay. I still really enjoyed this and I hadn't read the Carvel series, so I really do want to pick that one up after I finish this trilogy, but I'm pretty sure the third book comes out in October, which is next month. So really good timing for me to be reading these, and I just really enjoyed them. So I immediately picked up the second book after finishing the first one, which is The Ballad of Never After. So I took the dust cover off of it. When I read them, I don't like to use the dust cover. I don't want to mess them up. So I just started this one last night, and I want to read a little bit this morning. I do need to film a video this morning, but I want to read a little bit first. It's kind of drizzling right now, but it's been like pouring down rain all morning, which would have been perfect for reading, but I needed to edit a little bit. So I'm currently on page 30 of this book, and I'm on chapter 4, so I guess I'm on page 31. I just want to read. I'm not going to finish this book in this vlog, I'm sure. So my favorite thing to do is to pull up either reading music, a crackling fire, or like a cozy reading video on YouTube. I love the ambiance that it creates. It is raining outside, so I do have that little bit of an element, but it's not pouring right now, so I can just barely hear it. I do think I'm going to pull up a nice reading video, which I will link a couple of my favorites below. They're just really nice for some ambiance. They're very relaxing, and I really like to listen to them while I read. I feel like it helps me focus on the book more, and I don't pay attention to random noises around the house or outside the house as often as I would. So I really do enjoy that. Okay, if you're reading this book with me, at the end of chapter 5, what the heck? I did not see that coming. Okay. What? Okay. Wow. I'm interested to see how this plays out now. Okay, so I made it to chapter 7 or page 58, but I think now is a good pausing point to film my makeup video because I am ready to curl up on the couch and read this book, and this chair is not like the most comfortable reading chair, and I just wanted to read a little bit to kind of get excited about reading it again today, and I already am. So I love how fast-paced this book is. I love how every chapter there's something else, like another twist or another turn, and I'm just really excited to keep reading this. But I think I'm going to pause for a few minutes and film my makeup video, which is a get ready with me. So the next time you see me, I will have my makeup on and such, but I am just gonna stay in kind of like the cozy vibes today with the super oversized clothes just to feel a little bit more comfy and like ready to read. But yeah, I will be right back after I film that video and hopefully be a little bit more cozied up on the couch to read and actually be able to hear the rain that's outside. So I'll see you guys in just a second. Okay, it is a lot later now. It is 4:53 in the afternoon now. I have done some reading. I'm about to do some cooking for dinner, but I've already like filmed my video and it's been like a whole day since the last time I talked with you guys. I did make it to page 92 and I'm gonna read some more after dinner. And of course, as soon as I'm about to make dinner and like not be reading, it starts pouring down rain. Yeah, so far I'm still like super into it with the storyline and everything. I mean, it's like every single chapter is almost like an episode of a TV show. So you have like your whole plot through the chapter. And so it just really, I feel like, keeps me on track of wanting to read more and more and more and more and more. It really just keeps my attention and makes me want to continue the story. So I'm excited to see like a little chunk of the book has been read. We're about 1/4 of the way through and she's so cute. I better just sit over here so you guys can see her. But I'm about 1/4 of the way through the book. I would love to read at least another 50 pages tonight, but maybe like 100 pages tonight would be nice. And I don't know how much longer I'm going to keep the vlog going. I'm actually kind of editing it right now and I like how it's turning out. So hopefully you guys are enjoying it. I'm a slow reader and I don't want to rush it because I'm really enjoying it. Read in here maybe? I don't know, like on the couch, depending on where Perry's laying because she is a long girl and she kind of takes up the whole couch sometimes. I'm gonna go ahead and make dinner. I marinated some chicken for butter chicken last night, an Indian dish, and I'm going to go ahead and cook it now so we can have some dinner. So I'll see you guys in a little bit. Okay, we had dinner and I ended up reading a good bit more. So I'm now on page 120 and I'm just excited to keep reading this. Like, I just want to get to the end of it so that I know how it's going to end and I can just go ahead and talk about it in this video in the spoiler section. But you guys, I honestly just think this is such a good book series so far, and especially if you guys haven't read it yet or you don't know what it's about, I would suggest just going into it without knowing what it's about. So the only part I feel like is really good to read is like the very beginning there of the dust jacket from the first book, and it just says, how far would you go for happily ever after? And I honestly just feel like that's the best way to describe this book because it's a fantasy book, but it has like that fairy tale type feel, just like the Once Upon a Broken Heart. I mean, like how the title would make you feel like what would the book be about, then it's just like really good. But I honestly feel like going into it and not knowing like what's gonna happen or what the actual plot is and the details is more fun. Let's just go ahead and see how far I can make it. I definitely want to try and make it to page 200 tonight. That would be really nice, but I'm also like, sometimes I just start to get really sleepy as I'm reading, so if that happens, I'm going to just stop. But it's like not even late. It's only 8:30 right now, so I'm going to see if I can make it to the halfway mark. That would be really nice. So let's go ahead and keep reading. Good morning, you guys. It is the next day. So I did read some more last night and I just really feel like maybe I could finish the book today. I don't know. That might be wishful thinking because I'm just not used to like sitting for an entire day and reading. But I almost made it to page 200 last night. I'm on chapter 23 at page 185. As you guys saw from the state of my desk, I was just so tired last night. I started to fall asleep reading the last chapter that I was on. So I just put everything on the desk and then went to sleep. So I straightened that up a little bit this morning. I have my breakfast now. I have a large bowl of yogurt, fruit, and granola with some honey on top. And then I have the same iced coffee as yesterday. There's a very loud truck going by. I have the same iced coffee as yesterday, but today I just decided to put it in a mug. I really like this mug, so I just wanted to use it, even though I kind of want hot coffee today, but honestly, I have the iced coffee and it's just a lot easier to make, and I don't feel like making coffee right now. I'm just really tired this morning. I did sleep in today too. It's 10 o'clock, which is pretty late for me to sleep in. So I'm gonna eat my breakfast and then maybe edit a little bit. I think I'm gonna wait and post this video like next Sunday or something. So I'm gonna try and finish this book in this vlog because I just think that it would be cool to look back on. So I'm going to eat breakfast and then hopefully jump into reading at some point. I will get ready today, so yeah, but just not right this second. So that's what I'm gonna do, and then we will read in just a little bit. We have had a turn of events. Oh my gosh, I'm so aggravated. So I was just gonna edit a little bit before I started reading while I ate my breakfast. I corrupted the entire reading vlog that I've been editing, and I was like taking a lot of time to edit it bit by bit and make it exactly how I wanted it to, and I was feeling really proud of how it was looking, and now it is corrupted. Oh, I'm so aggravated. So I think I figured out a way now to like re-pull the file and tell it like, hey, this is what this file is. But I lost all of my progress in Final Cut Pro, and I've spent a few hours now editing this because I wanted it to be like exactly like I wanted it to. Yeah. So I think right now the best bet is to stop looking at this, because right now, let me show you what I'm looking at. This is what I'm looking at. But I've now got it to where I think it's going to work. Like I got this one to add in and fix that, but I have to do that with all of these. So, and I really screwed that up because I just added those in on top of it, but that's what I'm looking at right now. This is not the time to try and fix it. I know myself well enough to know that if I try to fix it now, I'm gonna make it worse. So I need to just step away and like try and cool off, because when I get frustrated with stuff like this, it's like, it just gets worse and worse and worse unless I just come back to it later. So what I'm gonna do instead is just read. I'm still on the same page. I haven't read anything since I talked to you guys at 10, so I'm on page 185. And I honestly still would really like to finish this book today, so I'm gonna try and prioritize that, at least for a little while, but I have a feeling this computer problem is going to take a good chunk of the day up. So I'm gonna read maybe until about lunchtime. Much later now. It is about 8:20 at night, and I'm currently on page 280. So I did read a little bit more later, which you guys saw a couple clips of. So I'm now on chapter 34. I'm about 3/4 of the way through with this book, which is more than I thought I would be, to be honest, but I did get pretty distracted today from reading. Right now, I'm going to try and read another about 50 pages to get to the next part of the book. So the book is broken down into multiple parts, and then of course it has chapters. So I'm going to try to get to the next part, which is in about 50 pages. I just looked kind of like briefly, and I happened to see that there's another part coming up. So I'm going to try and get to that. I think it's on page about 320, was it? Somewhere around there, yeah. So it starts on page 331. So I'm going to try and get to that, but I did just go to the grocery store, like a late night grocery store run, and I picked up this drink from Olipop, and I really want to try it. So I've been watching Haley Pham a lot. I really love her YouTube channel. She does a lot of book videos, and she really inspired me to want to do this reading vlog too. I was also excited to see that she likes this book. I had remembered her reading it once my friend sent it to me, and I went back and watched her reading vlog because it wasn't a spoiler one, and I watched that, so she made me even more excited to pick it up. But her and her husband, Ryan Trahan, are always talking about fun drinks, and I thought, I'm gonna pick up a fun drink. So this is one of those prebiotic drinks. It's the classic root beer flavor from Olipop. It just went everywhere. It smells like root beer for sure. I feel like I've had this one other time. I just don't quite remember if I liked it or not. I mean, it doesn't taste like root beer. It doesn't taste like this is like the normal, like super sugary root beer, but it has prebiotics, botanicals. Oh, I hear Perry. Gotta go get Perry. Do you want to say hi? Huh? Perry's gonna come hang out with us. Oh, goodness. I was cracking up when I was editing back some of the clips from yesterday with her sitting there cuddling her Jerry the giraffe. But yeah, this doesn't taste like a super sugary drink like the normal root beer tastes like, but it says it only has 2 grams of sugar per can. It has 35 calories, and I don't know, I feel like at least it's got to be better than normal root beer, but it tastes okay. And it says it supports digestive health, which is nice. I know prebiotics are supposed to be really good, and I did just take my probiotic. I need to get better about taking those one step at a time. I'm trying to remind myself, but this is okay. I wouldn't suggest it over a different drink, but the drinks that taste the best are usually the worst for you. So in comparison to like a healthy drink, it's pretty good. It's like something different to try. So I'm excited to just have something different to drink. I've been drinking a ton of water today, which is really good, but I wanted something a little bit different. It's like the colder it is, the better. So I'm going to drink that and read 50 pages or so, hopefully. Okay, I'm kind of freaking out. I'm at the end. I've only got like, I don't know, maybe 15 more pages, and oh my gosh. What? Oh my gosh. Dang, that's not how I thought that was going to end at all. I'm very glad that the 3rd book is coming out soon because I need to know how this is all going to play out. I know that Stephanie Garber would not leave us like this. What the heck? Of course it's going to end on a cliffhanger. I should have known that, but I'm ready for the 3rd book to come out. I feel like it's going to come out in October. Okay, Amazon just played a really cruel trick on me because when I pulled it up, it said like you could purchase it, but obviously it's just pre-order, which is what I was afraid of. So October 24th is the day that the third one comes out, and it's called A Curse for True Love. So I will be getting that October 24th for sure. It's gonna be a Tuesday. Oh man, okay. I wish it was gonna be like a Friday because I feel like I'm gonna read that book so quickly. My feelings have not changed. I still really love these books. So as far as the non-spoiler part of this video goes, yeah, of course it's gonna leave on a cliffhanger because it's a trilogy. I cannot wait to read the third book. I really need to go to bed now. It's almost midnight and I have to work tomorrow, but holy cow. So this is going to wrap up the end of the non-spoiler part of the video. I'm going to kind of like brain dump right now. After I get done filming this clip, that's going to be a spoiler clip. So if you guys haven't read this series yet, go ahead and click off. Come back to this video once you've read the first two books. That's going to be the end of this like non-spoilery section. So go ahead and click off now if you do not want to be spoiled. I'll give you guys a couple of seconds. So make sure you click off. So starting the spoiler section now. If you have not clicked off, click off, please. I'm going to be talking about spoilers. So let's kind of go like in reverse order because I just finished the second book, A Ballad of Never After. So what the heck, you guys? So I did note that there was one quote in this book that I just thought was hilarious. Like there were many, but I forgot to write them down. And so like while I was reading this, I thought, oh, I better make note of that. Where was it at? Yes, okay. So there was one quote in here that I just thought was hilarious, and I made sure to actually like make note of what it was. And so on page 286, when Jax says, "I think you've been naughty little fox." He made a tisking sound with his tongue. "Where did you find the truth stone?" I just thought it was hilarious because he finally realized like what was going on, and it was just really funny. But I love the banter back and forth between them, as I'm sure everyone does who reads this. But what the freaking heck? I did not expect Apollo to be able to do that. I was like, I think that was probably like the biggest curveball for me, and I'd probably like need to go back and reread that section even of like how in the world did he just take her memories, which I feel like is probably going to be more explained in the third book. Like I'm sure it will be. I hope it will be. Oh no, unless he just found some sort of curse like Marisol did, or Marisol, and people say her name differently, but yeah, I just like, what the freaking heck, you guys? Okay, so I really have enjoyed these books just to like kind of brain dump some thoughts. So I'm not a booktuber, okay, so I don't know how like put together these thoughts are going to be. This is going to be more of like a brain dump and like overall thoughts. I just really loved Stephanie Garber's writing, and I did actually watch Haley Pham's video recently, like yesterday or today, and I watched like a bunch of her old videos too, and she was mentioning how she was reading the second book in the Caraval series. I forgot what that one's called, but she was saying like I didn't really like the Caraval book, so I'm glad that I'm liking this one like halfway through it or something. So that made me feel really glad that I am reading this series first, because if I had started Caraval and I didn't like it, then I probably would have been turned off to read these books. So I'm super excited actually that I started out with this series, even though a lot of people I've heard suggest to read the Caraval series first. I will just read that one after I finish the third book of this. I don't want to get myself confused, so I'm going to kind of like stay in this world. I know it's the same world, but probably like a different time frame. So I want to stay in this section of this trilogy. So in the meantime, I guess maybe I'll try and pick up like a different type of book. But I really like this, and it led me feeling like I want to find more books that might have a similar type feel to them, because to me this is like fantasy meets fairy tale, like a dark fairy tale, and I thought that that was actually really fun. So I'm hoping that it has a good ending, because that's kind of like the plot of this is like how far would you go. And then like Evangeline and her parents, you know, they were talking about always love at first and happily ever afters. And so I'm excited to see how the ending is explored in the third book. But I gotta say, I just loved how this whole story went. One thing I want to remember to say, so I'm going to say it now so I don't forget, is I love the details of the writing. And specifically, I love how Stephanie always really details the clothing. Like you can vividly see the dresses that Evangeline is wearing, and I just think that that's such a cool touch because I love stuff like that. Like I love just the details of how she describes everything. I loved how a large part of this book was taking place at the Hollow. I thought that that was actually a really cool way to make you even more intrigued in the relationship between Jax and Evangeline if you weren't already, and it was more direct, and so they really built that up. But I just loved like everything about the story. So the vampire storyline was something that in the first book I thought, oh, I don't know about this, but then a few pages in, or maybe like a couple chapters in, I thought, oh, okay, I'm all right with this. And it definitely started to make sense, especially when they brought Luke back into it. And I just like, there were so many different twists and turns and everything. And obviously I just finished this book, so my mind is like everywhere right now, but I'm just like blown away. So I will say that when they first talked about Prince Lucian, or Lucian who would be the prince, I did think that that was weird that the name was so similar, and I was like, why would she use such a similar name, and like the first letters are that? But that's all I thought about it. I did not think farther to think that that was going to somehow be him. I did not see that coming, and his character I feel like is probably going to be explored more. And I'm interested to see how they play this Apollo story out, because we've never really gotten to see him not cursed. Like we've had little snippets in the beginning and then now afterwards, but I don't know, like, is he cursed again, or is he doing the cursing? Something's going on. So I just feel like this is going to be very, very interesting. I'm assuming this is the price to pay for the time travel, but I'm just really interested to see how it goes. I really wish that this book was coming out like now, because now I have over a month to wait, but I know a lot of people have been waiting a lot longer than that, because I am very late to the party on reading this book. I loved just the scenery that is in this book. Like when you're reading it, it's like you can perfectly vividly see everything, but I also felt like it wasn't like hard to comprehend. I feel like sometimes fantasy books have so much world building, so much character building, and that might have taken place more in the Carval series to help you in this series, but I didn't feel like I was lacking any world building really. I feel like almost everything has had an answer so far. I am still excited to see like what is the third kiss gonna be, because that was never cashed in. So that was kind of crazy that we had two within like what, the first 3/4 of the first book, and then the whole second book like none. And that was like from the beginning, like the premise of the story. So that's all pretty much that we knew from reading the Dust Jacket, you know, like the inner part of it, and the synopsis. Like that was it. So I was kind of surprised that we didn't see that one come to fruition, but I'm guessing that the third kiss will be with Jax. I don't know. How does that work if she doesn't remember anything, but then she still has the one heart? I do really wish I would have annotated the books, because these were just like amazing, but I really just flew through them and I enjoyed just being immersed in the story and not like taking the time to annotate. So rereading them and annotating is something that I think I would really enjoy. And I have a feeling that depending on what everyone's videos are like on the spoiler videos, now that I can watch them, that it might make me want to reread if they point out things that I didn't notice, because I was just so intrigued and so involved in reading the story that I'm sure that there's some details that I did not pick up on or that I missed, and more questions that I could have, but I just was excited to be in the story. But thank you guys so much for watching this reading vlog. I had a lot of fun filming it, so I hope that you guys have enjoyed. If you want to see me do more of these videos, please be sure to let me know down below. If you did like today's video, please go ahead and give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.